this is an iHeart podcast. Guaranteed human.
This episode sponsored by She's Birdie. Every woman knows that feeling, and She's Birdie knows it too. The just in case feeling. Just in case I hear something. Just in case someone tries the door. Just in case I need to wake up fast. It's not fear, it's awareness. And Birdie Box from She's Birdie was made for exactly that. Birdie Box is a portable travel door alarm designed by She's Birdie for hotels, dorms, Airbnbs, and anywhere you're staying away from home. It installs in seconds on the door frame, and if the door is opened, it activates a loud siren and flashing strobe to help draw attention instantly. She's Birdie, because peace of mind should check in with you. Birdie Box by She's Birdie. Visit shesbirdie.com. That's SHESBIRDIE.com. And order your Birdie Box before your next stay away from home.
Why should you listen to Armstrong and Getty on demand?
We're not boring. A lot of news is boring.
And tedious.
And depressing.
And makes you angry. You don't want to live your life like that.
Hey, I'm Jack Armstrong. He's Joe Getty.
We're Armstrong and Getty.
We try to bring you the truth.
And help you figure out this crazy modern world.
How about something about a comedic tone?
We have a winner.
Yes. Listen to Armstrong and Getty on demand on the iHeartRadio app,
Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
We continue to have a strong dollar policy, and the strong dollar policy is that the U.S. economy is pulling away from the rest of the world. When I look, we have 6.5% nominal growth, and the composition of that growth as the headline inflation comes down. Everything we're seeing in terms of revenue growth at companies up about 12%. So the underlying economy, I think, is very strong, and the only inflationary impulses that we're seeing are coming from the energy, which is temporary.
You're listening to the 47 Morning Update with Ben Ferguson.
Good Friday morning. Nice to have you with us on the 47 Morning Update, and we've got two big stories for you. First up, FBI agents confiscating Eric Swalwell's electronic devices at the airport in San Francisco. What is the investigation about? Sexual misconduct probe. The man who used to go after Donald Trump every day, demanding accountability, is now being investigated and having his home searched as well. I have that story for you in just a moment. Also, you may remember Nike decided to go woke. Well, now, after 5 years, they've lost nearly 80% of their market value. Translation, go woke and go broke. We have the amazing decline. Before we get to that, though, I want to talk to you about the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews and how you can get involved in praying for people in need right now. Anti-Semitism is continuing to rise around the world. Every day, the Jewish people continue to pay the price, from growing threats against Jewish communities to acts of violence, harassment, and intimidation. Many Jewish families are living with fear simply because they're Jewish. Synagogues and schools and community centers continuing to be forced to strengthen their security because hatred is spread so far beyond the headlines. And that's why the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews is working every day in Israel and around the world, providing security, emergency assistance, food, and critical care for vulnerable Jewish communities. For more than 40 years, the fellowship has stood alongside the Jewish people, delivering practical support when it's needed the most. Hatred continues to spread, but compassion and action can make a difference. So join the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews in praying for the safety of the Jewish people, for peace in Israel, and for an end to anti-Semitism. Together, we can remind God's people that they're not alone. So stand with Israel in prayer today by visiting prayifcj.org. That's prayifcj.org. It's the 47 Morning Update, and it starts right now.
Story number one.
I want to tell you about Eric Swalwell. You may remember he is the former congressman, disgraced gubernatorial candidate in California, that was excommunicated by Democrats not because of what he did, but because they believed he couldn't win the race in California. Now, this part of the story and the details I'm going to tell you, you're going to understand instantly now just how serious things have become since the Democrats have taken their hands off of Eric and protecting him. The former congressman, once a presidential candidate, one of Donald Trump's loudest critics in Congress, and until just a couple months ago, the candidate for governor of California has now had his electronic devices seized by the FBI as part of a criminal investigation into allegations of sexual misconduct. Here's more about the seizure on Fox News.
Breaking news, we have just learned that the FBI has seized former Congressman Eric Swalwell's electronics, and this happened on Saturday. They took those electronics from him at San Francisco International Airport on Saturday and then from his Washington, D.C. home on Sunday. Eric Swalwell was not detained or arrested, and we're told the federal investigation involves sexual misconduct allegations against him. Two women who have spoken publicly about sex misconduct allegations against Swalwell we know about. The FBI is not commenting further details on this case, and Fox News has contacted Swalwell's attorney. We're waiting to hear back.
Now, to be clear, the agents didn't simply ask or send a letter to his attorney asking him to turn over his phones. According to these reports, the FBI agents confronted Swalwell at the San Francisco airport and served him with a search warrant for his cell phone and other electronic devices. Then ABC News went on to report the agents seized the devices at the airport, and then the investigators had another search warrant for Swalwell's Washington, D.C. home. The San Francisco Chronicle reports the device seized at the airport included his iPhone as well as his MacBook computer. Now, you got to think about the significance of that. This isn't simply a political ethics investigation any longer. This isn't an embarrassing congressional hearing. You have federal investigators obtaining a search warrant, allowing them to take possession of the electronic devices of a former member of Congress and then search his home. Now, Swalwell has not been convicted of a crime, but the allegations against him, well, they remain clearly extremely serious. Obtaining a federal search warrant generally requires investigators to convince a judge that there is probable cause and it exists, and they believe evidence of a crime will be found in the place or property that they are searching. And the underlying allegations are extraordinarily serious. Reuters this morning reporting that the federal investigation involves multiple allegations of sexual misconduct against Swalwell. It follows accusations from multiple women that surfaced earlier this year, including allegations of sexual assault and unsolicited explicit images. Swalwell has denied all the allegations and has said he intends to fight them as well. Now, according to Cal Matters, 4 women initially accused Swalwell of sexual misconduct. One former congressional staffer has also alleged that Swalwell sexually assaulted her not once but twice when she was too intoxicated to consent, and solicited oral sex from her while she worked for him. Swalwell has also denied those allegations. Now, all of this has been about the political future for Swalwell until now. You got to remember where Eric Swalwell was heading. He had represented California in Congress since 2013. He briefly ran for president in 2019. He became one of the most recognizable Democratic faces during the Trump years, appearing consistently on television and emerging as one of Trump's fiercest congressional antagonists. Then he decided his next move would be the governor's mansion in California. That's when Swalwell launched his campaign for governor in November of last year and entered the race as a major Democratic contender. Then everything collapsed when the sexual misconduct allegations became public in April. After the poll numbers showed there was a chance that Eric may not be able to beat the Republican candidate, that is when the Democrats started taking care of one of their own. And I'm not talking about protecting them. I'm talking about politically taking them out. The political fallout was immediate. The media who protected him was now covering the stories. And that is when Swalwell suspended his campaign for governor, just days after the allegations were published. He continued, of course, denying them while apologizing to his family for what he characterized as a quote-unquote mistake in judgment. And it didn't end with his campaign, as I'm sure he was hoping. Swalwell subsequently announced he would resign from Congress, bringing an end to the career of a politician who only months earlier was positioning himself to run the largest state in America. And now, just 4 months later, this story has moved from political scandal into a dramatically different arena. search warrants, federal agents, seized electronics, and a search of his Washington home. The FBI action is especially significant because electronic devices can potentially contain enormous amounts of evidence. Texts, emails, photograph, location information, communications with witnesses, and other digital records. Now, we don't yet know specifically what investigators believe they will find, and the seizure itself does not establish, of course, that Swalwell is actually guilty. But investigators clearly want access to these devices badly enough to seek judicial authorization to literally seize them. And apparently, they weren't willing to wait for Swalwell to voluntarily hand them over. Now, finally, there's also a broader irony here, and it's impossible to ignore. For years, Eric Swalwell was one of the most aggressive voices in Washington, demanding countless investigations and impeachments of Donald Trump and the people around him. He served on the House Intelligence Committee. He became nationally famous during the Russia investigation. He regularly appeared on television discussing those investigations and the subpoenas and the classified information, and accountability and the rule of law was his thing. Well, now Swalwell is the one facing the federal investigators. And this isn't even the first major controversy that's followed him. You may also remember that years earlier, and we covered it here, Swalwell also faced intense scrutiny over his association with a Chinese communist spy known as Fang Fang. That's right. Well, even more information came out and admitting that he actually did have a sexual relationship with a Chinese spy. That came out this week as well. So there's a lot happening right now. One thing is for sure. Federal investigators, they are now gathering evidence. The FBI has Eric Swalwell's electronics, and agents have searched his Washington home. So now we sit and wait. And there's a very good chance there'll probably be quite a few leaks that come out about exactly what is going to happen next.
Now, story number 2.
There is a financial story right now that's unfolding that every CEO in America should be paying attention to. And many of us who felt like maybe we keep losing when there are these woke radical agendas that are pushed by corporate America, well, guess what? It may take a long time to win, but winning is exactly what seems to be happening as consumers start turning away from brands when they go against their values. Now, one of the most powerful brands in the history of America has suffered an absolutely staggering destruction of shareholder value. Nike has lost roughly $200 billion in market value from its 2021 peak. Let me say that again. Not 200 million, not 20 billion, roughly 200 billion in market capitalization has vanished. Nike's stock has fallen to levels not seen in approximately 12 years, and shares are down roughly 78% from their 2021 all-time high. Now, this isn't some startup that had one good year and then collapsed. We're talking about Nike. We're talking about the swoosh. We're talking about Michael Jordan. We're talking about Tiger Woods. We're talking about Serena Williams. We're talking about the brand Just Do It. For decades, Nike wasn't merely selling shoes, it was selling American sports culture. And today, the company's market capitalization is hovering around $60 billion. That is an extraordinary fall from its heights that it reached just 5 years ago. Now, not only has Nike lost nearly 80% of its market cap over the last 5 years, but when the stock was near its peak, it was put this way by Ethan Strauss. He wrote the definitive take on how the company was fumbling the bag. They were a brand, they said, quote, defined by Michael Jordan's competitiveness and machismo, and with a heavily male customer base. They thought they could double in size if they could be that and also be Lululemon at the same time. But instead, they stopped being that while failing to be Lululemon, and now they're nothing. A bunch of upstart competitors ate their lunch while they destroyed their brand and reputation. Now, what was it that caused their brand to collapse? That is the biggest part of the story here that we all need to look at. And this is going to be studied, I promise you, in college. Because the decline of the largest American sports apparel brand, well, that's big. Senator Ted Cruz put it this way when he said, sad and predictable. For my whole life, I wore nearly 100% Nike for athletic wear. Kaepernick pissed me off. But when they canceled the Betsy Ross shoe, it showed that their marketing plan was America hate. I went out and bought brand new shoes, shorts, t-shirts. Turns out I wasn't the only one. Go woke, go broke. Douglas Mackey also putting out on X this, called the Nike top years ago. Nike, number one, made Kaepernick the face of the 30-year anniversary campaign. Number two, they canceled the Betsy Ross sneaker. Number three, they partnered with Dylan Mulvaney. Number four, set goals including 35% U.S. racial and ethnic minority representation in the corporate workforce and 30% at the director level and above, again, for Nike internally. Number five, they prioritize the LGBTQ plus initiatives and broader cultural signaling. Number six, they terminated Kyrie Irving over the vaccine mandate. Nike was swallowed by the HR and PR ladies from colleges like Vassar and Oberlin. Now, this is why it is such a big moment to see Nike's decline and the turn of events for a company that only 5 years ago posted a share price of $177.51, its highest ever. The company made no friends when in 2018 it decided to monetize the controversy, and that is a clear data point. They monetized the controversy surrounding the anthem-kneeling demonstrations of Colin Kaepernick. They signed him as a prominent figure in Nike's marketing campaigns. Now, Kaepernick also played his last NFL game in 2016, and this led many to suspect that Nike's decision to sign him in 2018 was not because he was playing anymore. He wasn't. It was solely to monetize the anger he created among those sympathetic to his cause. Now, Kaepernick defenders long insisted that his anthem kneeling was not anti-American. That case became much harder to make in 2019 when Kaepernick publicly criticized Nike for its Betsy Ross shoe. Now, that shoe, which was created to be marketed to customers during the 4th of July celebration that year, harkened back to the design of the famous Revolutionary War era Betsy Ross flag with 13 stars in a circle against a blue backdrop. Kaepernick decided this symbol represented a time when blacks were still enslaved, and then he went on a tantrum demanding that it not be sold. What happened? Nike caved into his demands and they pulled the shoe altogether. Now, the point of this story is pretty simple. It was sad. It was predictable. Nike didn't just lose Senator Cruz or Ben Ferguson or anybody else. They just lost the entire country that loved Nike because they alienated their core market audience. And when you go anti-American, you may not see it right away in your stock. But week after week, month after month, and year after year, what has happened is Americans walked away from the woke agenda of Nike. And that's how they lost nearly 80% of their market cap over the last 5 years. So if you're thinking about buying Nike stock as I'm recording this, it's a buy at just $39.09. It's down 76.70% or $128 a share over the past 5 years. So good luck, Nike. And for other companies that are paying attention to this, well, here's the moment. You should be looking at it and realizing if you go woke, eventually you're going to go broke.
Thank you for listening to the 47 Morning Update with Ben Ferguson. Please make sure you hit subscribe wherever you're listening to this podcast right now. And for more in-depth news, also subscribe to the Ben Ferguson podcast, and we will see you back here tomorrow.
This episode sponsored by She's Birdie. Every woman knows that feeling, and She's Birdie knows it too. The just in case feeling. Just in case I hear something. Just in case someone tries the door. Just in case I need to wake up fast. It's not fear, it's awareness. And Birdie Box from She's Birdie was made for exactly that. Birdie Box is a portable travel door alarm designed by She's Birdie for hotels, dorms, Airbnbs, and anywhere you're staying away from home. It installs in seconds on the door frame, and if the door is opened, it activates a loud siren and flashing strobe to help draw attention instantly. She's Birdie, because peace of mind should check in with you. Birdie Box by She's Birdie. Visit shesbirdie.com. That's SHESBIRDIE.com. And order your Birdie Box before your next stay away from home.
Why should you listen to Armstrong and Getty on demand?
We're not boring. A lot of news is boring.
And tedious.
And depressing.
And makes you angry. You don't want to live your life like that.
Hey, I'm Jack Armstrong. He's Joe Getty.
We're Armstrong and Getty.
We try to bring you the truth.
And help you figure out this crazy modern world.
How about something about a comedic tone?
We have a winner.
Yes. Listen to Armstrong and Getty on demand on the iHeartRadio app,
Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.